Yo, welcome to FlowandGist. Man, it's a full house today.
It's a full fucking house. Yeah, this is the special edition of FlowandGist where like the young,
Man, I got it.
all the young, strong, energetic black men in the building, man. We're talking. This is the point where we're like, we sell ourselves. We talk about our journey.
Yep.
We are about to talk about some real, where we all started from, and it's gonna be an interesting episode.
Yeah, I mean, before then, I'd just like to introduce myself. My name is Fizzy Easy. Life is easy. I don't stress too much. And to me, I have with my brother.
It's your boy TY Tunes, keeping it real every day, man.
100%.
Yeah, and it's time for us to go around the building. It's not about us today. It's about all our young brothers we have in the house. Everyone's going to introduce themselves. So I'll start from Mr.
Everyone knows Joe.
Everyone knows me as Joe, but on the podcast here, I've got Big Joe. So,
Big Joe,
friend of the show, man. Friend of the show.
Yeah.
Shout out Big Joe.
Shout out Big Joe. Big Joe in the building.
And next we have
frankly, I'm very new here.
I know that.
A bit shy. No. That's why I'm sitting on this corner. I'm trying to hide my face and stuff.
Alright, so you skip me, and then we have.
My name is Shingai, young Zimbabwean, 30 years old. First time on the podcast.
Nice.
Shout out to Shingy in the house.
and on my left we've got
Chris in the building. Nigerian, entrepreneur.
100%.
So yeah, I'm
100%.
happy to be here.
Hey, and birthday boy, man.
last week was, I'm just going to quickly chip in. Last week was Chris' birthday, and we want to say happy birthday to Chris on the podcast.
Happy birthday, Chris.
Happy birthday.
Thanks, my brothers.
Happy
Thanks, my
birthday.
brothers. I
Happy
appreciate
birthday,
you guys.
How was the surprise birthday?
It was amazing.
It was a vibe, man. It was a vibe.
Can you see my wrist?
I see that.
That was a present, special present.
Nice.
And next to Chris, we've got one of the strongest man in the building, man.
This MJ in the house.
MJ in the house, man, boys. You already know. Feel good to be here tonight, boys.
Nice.
Feel good to see you. The brothers' faces in the house.
Nice.
And we here to talk about life journey and yeah, pretty much that's what we're here to talk about. Stay cool and learn and listen.
Yes.
Peace.
100%.
That's it.
Always.
That's it.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
for me,
it.
it's nice to have, young black men here, successful men. It's just about having young black men here. So this topic is about, we voicing out about what we do, the struggles, how we started, and how we got here. So for me, I think the journey of a man really begins when you actually decide to do things that you're not really comfortable with.
Yeah.
So when you stay in your comfort zone, then nothing really grows there. You get what I mean?
Absolutely.
So yeah. So
100%.
To start with, I'll be starting with Joe.
Let me set the tone, man.
Before he asks that question, the last time we were in the studio with Joe, anytime I ask a question, you always say, I'm setting Joe up. And Joe said, I only set a question to set him up.
I was prepared for both of you.
I actually watched the episode and I felt like it was me and you setting him up.
Oh, yeah.
And we didn't catch him because he came prepared. You don't always have in your show. Your question, man, Mr. Joe.
Yeah, so Joe, tell us about your journey. How did you start as a black person in Australia?
Yeah.
How did you, blend into the system? How did you, get yourself up, regardless of the whole negativity around you?
Yeah.
And how did you make it to the top? Where you're at now?
It's crazy, man. We talk about the journey of self-discovery, and I feel like when you look at where black people live in, say, UK and America, Australia is probably the hardest country for that, because we don't have a black culture.
Correct.
So I feel like in Australia, when you first come here, it's sink or swim. It's hard to be yourself because you sort of feel like you have to fit in. And I feel like, because I came here when I was 11, 2005, and most of that, it was just trying to be accepted. I'm special example in my early days in primary school. I was asked what my name was, and it's Aru in Sudanese, A-R-U. and like this boy couldn't pronounce my name, and I felt so ashamed and embarrassed, you know. And he said, "What's your Christian name?" Like, because it was a Catholic school. And I was like, "It's Joseph, but I've never been called that." He's like, "Okay, we can call you Joe." And I feel like I went on a journey of like letting people dictate who I am from that moment, right? Because Joe became like
the name,
but Aru is who I truly am. And I feel like over the years, I had to get back to Aru, which is like my real roots, and that's like a journey within itself. Because Australia is like, one, we don't have that black culture, but two, the best way to be is to be who you truly are. So you have to embrace your culture, your name, your blackness, and then you can stand empowered, right? And like that's a journey with it takes time for some people. It can be confronting for a lot of people, you know. But yeah, that's what it takes, man.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna quickly chip in.
Yeah,
because I know Joe personally.
Yeah,
I remember. You know, my job is to set up, right?
Yeah.
I remember when Joe told me like, "Don't call me Joe again, call me Aro."
Yeah.
I'm like, where did this come from?
back to the roots.
That's real.
Back to the roots.
And you know what when I saw he was really like serious about it, call me Aro. My name is Aro Marco. And he kept saying Aro, not Joe. Yeah. I'm not saying if you call him Joe, he's definitely gonna respond, but he embraced the name Aro, and I had to like quickly go on my phone and change it to Aro Marco.
Yeah,
you know.
But I feel like
Nice.
quickly to add to that, it's like I don't. It's not like I'm ashamed of being called Joe.
Yeah.
But it's like they're two different types of people. They represent two types of personas, you know. And I'm proud of both of them. You know?
100%, yeah.
Journey, so.
Yeah.
So wait, who is Aru though?
Aru's like, man, he's the guy, man. Like,
The big guy.
It's that guy.
Nice.
He walks tall shoulders, tall and proud. You know, loves himself, loves his family, loves who he is. That's the main thing.
I mean, I feel like, you know, I think one of the culture of Africans or black men is that confidence that we carry.
Yeah.
You know, and it really, I mean, people think it's pride, but really it's just all about who we are, you know, and then we walk into a place and then everyone notices us.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just because we're dark skin or we're black skin or whatever. It's basically because of what we carry. You know, because of that self-confidence, you know, we use it wherever we go, and it's just inbuilt.
Yeah.
You know, so anyways, I won't bore you with my own talks, and we just go to Franklin.
Yeah, I think I can relate to what you just pretty much said. I think when I came in, I think because I have a very traditional long name, right? And then when I'm in class and then the teachers goes, "Oh yeah, who is Ikechuku?" Like they struggle with the name. I'm like, all right, you know what? Just go with the middle name, all right? Franklin. And then from Franklin, the Australians have this thing where they have to convert, shorten the name, and then from Franklin it goes to Frankie. And I'm like, all right, cool, Frankie, sweet, I love it. So I got to understand that they struggled with the first name. Yeah. So I'm like, no, you know what? It's fine. I'm easy. Just go with the middle name. But again, like he said, you have to represent the culture, right? You have to understand that. Look, you can't just do away with the first name. You can't just forget that name because that's who you are. That's the origin. That's where you're coming from, right? So once in a while, you still chip in. Oh yeah, it's a Quechua, and then they like ask you, all right, so where is that from? And they'll be like, oh yeah, from Nigeria, West Africa, and they get that, but they still prefer the Frankie. Yeah. And that's it.
I mean,
that much easier to pronounce anyway.
Yeah. I mean, but what you were saying, like if you think about it, like when our parents named us, it was from something. Yeah. The name just didn't come about like I'm Kule, yeah. The name came from experiences, expectations.
What they felt.
You know, what they felt.
Yeah, at the time.
Understand? Even as your own name is, you get what I mean? So, and it's really hard when you actually come to a society or a community where you need to now use the English name. Just because you want those people to be able to call you. You know, but at some time, I mean, I feel like it's okay, it's good, it's all right. But at the same time, when it's nice for a white person to actually call me Kunle, and then get the pronunciation right.
Yeah, because we get the answer right.
You know,
we don't struggle with their names. Yeah. We say the way it is written.
Exactly.
But they struggle with ours, which is fine because they are not from where we are.
Exactly.
Right? And then we are not holding that against them.
Yes, definitely. 100%.
But the thing is, we are also not from where they are.
Yeah, that makes us smart.
But the only difference is, 100%.
That makes us smart.
But the difference is also like the colonialism and everything. You know, it roots back to that, like the religion they imposed on us and everything. The fact that like your name Franklin, my name Anthony, it's all Christian names, and that was superimposed on us, and our parents and parents accepted it. You know, and it takes a lot of discipline or like self-development for someone like Joe to be like, my name is not, I'm not saying he didn't say his name is not Joe, he said my real name is Aro, and you have to refer to me as Aro. He didn't impose it on me. You can't do that anyway. but I could see that, like, dude, he kept saying my name is Aro. I'm going to embrace it, and I loved it. It's like, you know, and But the question my Sweet was asking. Let's move to Shingai. So Shingai, I want to hear like what's your own journey about? Like, just take us there.
All right. So I've been in Australia 4 years now, so fairly new. I'm in the construction industry. I do demolition and concrete cutting. I think my journey through that has been very interesting in the sense that you come here, you don't really understand a lot of the accent and how you're communicating with a lot of people. The banter, are people joking? And you then, people are trying to pronounce your name, and then almost similarly, like you said, come up with nicknames for you. So in the construction industry, people call me Junior.
Is that actually your name?
No, it's not.
Why do you think they call you Junior? Why do you think they call you Junior?
Okay, I came on a sponsored visa. I work for my uncle's company.
Cool.
Right, and he would also reiterate that people are probably struggling to
pronounce your name. Yes.
I've come into a new industry, a new country, everything. I'm doing sales, so I'm going from site to site to site, and I'm talking to people about something that I don't 100% understand. Right? So trying to get them to catch on to something was probably starting with the name. Right? And it was like, let's just call you Junior. Something
it's just pretty easy. You just go with that.
You understand what I mean? So on my business card, it actually says Shingai in brackets Junior.
Did you add the Junior to
it? But it's everyone's go-to thing. It's like, oh, Junior, how you going? And you sort of become used to it. And, funny enough, just the other day, we're in the gym. There's a guy that we train with called Chris. And he comes to me and he's like, he's a very Australian. He's like, mate, I went to the site and I'm like, how do you guys find Shingai? Like, how's the work and everything? He gave me ranting reviews about you and this. He's like, oh yeah, Junior. And I stopped him like, that's not his name. Why are you calling him Junior? He's like, oh, that's what we call him. It's like, no. And he's like, and he comes to me in the gym. He's like, mate, I don't want to call you Junior. I want to learn your real name.
Your real name,
and call you that because, that's what your parents have named you. It's a sign of respect.
That's a responsible guy.
Correct.
Like,
Chris is amazing.
I feel like if I'm calling you Junior, I'm undermining you. It's like I'm calling you, someone that's under me. So, And for the first time in a while, but I thought about it. I'm like, man, like I've been sitting under this name. It's there. But like I almost put on like
the name.
I almost put it on when I'm at work. It's like Junior, like and you
go-to guy.
Yeah. And it's worked for that, but like that chat literally it happened 2 days ago, I think, in the gym, and it was just it took me back. Like, you know what? People need to understand and really appreciate it. And I need to help. If I need to help people understand what my name is, what it means, and talk them through that, I might need to do that. And it's been a long journey. It's been 4 years, but it's been long.
Well, you're getting there.
We're getting there. Already. The name is around the whole construction industry. Coming in as an industry that I had absolutely no clue about. I was in hospitality before I came to Australia. And now we're working, man. Like our company, Vic Sewing and Drilling, is right at the top in Victoria. We've opened up a Sydney branch as well.
Amazing.
Wonderful.
Good
We're
job.
killing it. Yeah,
That's it.
and we keep.
Man, you deserve a round of applause for that, man.
And that's what we do in FlowandGist is we try to promote every business.
Yeah.
Definitely African business, non-African business.
Yeah.
But seeing someone like you, Joe, Franklin, and Chris, and every other one here, like these are guys that are like really doing fine, like in their sectors, and we want to. This is a platform to promote you guys and celebrate everyone.
Celebrate
so that's
success.
why we brought everyone together. Every young, everyone is successful in their field, and we want to commend you guys for coming on the show first. I want to commend you guys for what you're doing in the sector, and especially you,
Thank you
you're doing really fine.
Hey, but like you guys are doing pretty well yourself too. Man. You guys give yourself credit, bro.
Don't worry about us. Don't worry about us. Don't worry about us.
We know we're doing fine. We know we're doing fine. But he doesn't tell me I'm doing fine.
But yeah,
I will tell you that you're doing fine.
Thanks,
And I'll tell you that you're doing fine.
But yeah, it's such an interesting place we're at this stage, and we want to go around the room first to get everyone's perspective on this. Then we'll throw the floor down to now it's uniform and it's really, really like, it's connecting. We really want to see where everyone is coming from, and it's an interesting place. So the next person is Chris. First, I'm going to say it again. Happy birthday to my brother. It's my brother in a special way.
Thank you.
Yeah, since I've known him, he's always been giving me positive advices and, do this, don't
100%.
step back.
Keep it real. Keep it real.
Anytime I call him, it's all motivations and all that, I want to say it on the podcast. And he's also another young man that is doing finance business. So I'll let you speak. Tell us about your journey. So far in Australia.
Well, my journey in Australia has been very interesting. Nothing but interesting. Remember when I first came to Australia, I moved to a country town called Warragul. There's not many black people that lives in that town. I was only one of the probably couple. I was just lonely, bored. Drinking Hennessy every night.
They have Hennessy in the
Didn't know what to do. What if I should go back to Africa? But that was not an option at all, So I remember joining a soccer club, just to start obviously playing football in order to make friends and all that. And, then I ended up playing football. I remember my first job in Australia was working in a chicken farm.
Hold on, please. How many years ago was this?
This is 12 years ago.
Damn.
Oh my God.
Long time ago.
That's 2022.
2012.
Damn.
I probably was. Oh, nah.
2011.
2011. Yeah. I remember my first job working in a chicken farm. My first paycheck was $800. For me, it was like, wow, $800. First job.
That's seeing real dollars.
It was amazing, and then I converted that in Nigerian in naira, and I was like, I'm rich. Then a couple of days later, obviously paying rent, bills, and all that, I realized, man, this is nothing.
It's expensive.
I need to step it up. And a friend of mine linked me up. I went to the mining, spent 5 years at the mining, working so hard. Came back to the town, got linked up to working with an elevator company. I remember my first day at the elevator company, a guy that was working there was one of the European guys. He says to me, there's no black men in this industry. You don't belong here.
Yeah.
And everybody in the tea room was like, wow, that's so nasty. But for me, instead of letting that put me down, I took it in a positive way. That actually motivated me. A couple of years later, the same guy that told me that the elevator industry doesn't belong to black men, he was working under me. I was managing him.
Bro, sorry, I'm going to interrupt you.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
You got.
How did you feel at that moment when someone told you, because it's going to help, we don't know the young black kid that's going to help, when someone said, you don't belong here?
Actually smart, because for me, I'm a positive person. I use those
Right.
negative moments, to motivate me to get into the next level. I was like, all right, I will show you. So a couple of years later, he was working on them. He was like, oh, now we're friends. It's all good. I said, don't worry. So, but a couple of years later, I've been in the elevator industry for probably 9 years, construction, running my own side business as well. But I officially resigned 3 months ago and started my own delivery company. So now I'm doing my own thing, and life is good.
That's good.
Life is good. Life is good. Thank you.
Yeah, everyone thumbs up for my brother, man.
Thumbs up, man.
That's good.
I really respect that, man. The fact that you took that energy and turned it to something positive is like, I won't stop. I'll get better at this,
Keep going.
and not only get better, I'm going to start my own company, man. Respect, man. Respect. That's a positive one for everyone out there. Racism doesn't hold you back. It depends on what you do with it.
Yeah.
For most of us, it's been an energy. Like that racism shit happens. Like, yeah, I'll keep pushing. You know, my story with racism was different in the company. I almost punched the guy, but I held myself back, and that same thing. I pushed myself forward, and you know, I can say like I'm in a good place right now. I'm doing very well with what I'm. So thumbs up to you. And,
Fantastic.
You know, thanks, man, for sharing your story. We'll go to our brother. We'll go to MJ. The only man that is a walking gym, bro.
It's bigger than all.
It's a walking It's a walking gym. Bro, if you follow, you go die.
I've seen this. I follow you, bro.
You look like you haven't skipped a day in the gym.
I'm telling you.
Yeah,
Since
we can
born.
go to the gym.
What the hell?
Okay, with the jumper.
Guys, we'll go to MJ. MJ. Yeah, tell us about your journey. Yeah.
You know, there's always 2 rules that I got. Right? Not just for the brothers in here, but for
Just speak closer to the mic,
the
please.
audience, you know, whoever's watching this.
Closer to the MJ. Closer to
MJ,
the
Mike. Yeah.
I got 2 rules, right? One is before you do anything, you always put God first, right? And secondly, actions, right? Because you speak louder than words.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So what I'm saying here is, we all came into this country. It's obviously it's on a bread and butter. It has been tough, and our young generation who's coming up, this is something that they need to hear. You know, no matter how it is, no matter names they call you out there, whatever it is, always remember, you are valued. Always remember, put yourself first before anybody.
Yeah.
Do not get angry. I know it's hard, but anger doesn't do nothing to you, because your anger, it always destroy you, and also it reflect back on you. It's very important to listen to your family, especially for those who have family here.
Yeah.
Look, if you have your parents here, you are very lucky.
Correct.
Very much lucky.
100%.
If you have your mother here, if you have your father here, I tell you 100% you are lucky. If they talk to you, please listen. We came here for a reason. We came to hustle.
Correct.
We came to go to school ourselves. We came to hustle and take care of our loved ones back home. Most especially our parents who are unable, who never went to school, and they struggled. They sold everything just for us to come here. So it's time to pay back. You know, if you cannot give them money, but make them to be proud of you, right?
So personally for me, I remember coming to Australia, you know, as at that time with $1,000, man. You know, and $1,000 is, I don't know, it's something I can finish within, you know, you can just go out and blow it in the club. But for me, I felt like, you know, this is like all that I have. You know, so I did, you know, what I need to do, which is like good job that has to pay the bills. You know, all sort of job, like the minute jobs you can't ever, you know, you wouldn't even think of doing. I tell you, bro. I remember I saw one of my brothers the other time in one of the festivals that we had. And we reminisced on that. He said to me, you know, I saved your number as, you know, Cali construction laborer. You know, one of the construction laborers at the time, you know. And yeah, it's a beautiful story. Being able to like wake up like 4 o'clock in the morning, no car. You know, I was there for like a year with no car. You know, in the sun, in the rain, you have to go out there. You know. Yeah. So I mean, in my own perspective, I felt like you can only change a narrative when you change the dynamic.
So I think Kelly has really said a lot of things that I feel like I resonate with as a person. But like, at what point do you really say no to your friends? So I'm gonna ask Shanks.
Yeah.
At what point do you really say, okay, no, I'm not gonna send this money?
I'm gonna add something to that. What you
Yeah.
said. At what point you say no to Shingai? I want you to jump in on this before we go to the other people in the room. What he said. At what point would you say no to your friends?
All right. I think most importantly, when you feel like you're sinking as an individual, when you're giving back to friends or family, I think there's an analogy where it says if you've got a canoe, right, it only fits you, right? You've got a lot of people on the shore.
Yeah.
You all need to get to the other side, right? You cannot put 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people on that canoe. On the other side, there's a big ship that you can go and bring back. Put everyone on that ship to make it to the promised land.
To the other side, yeah.
Right? And the people on the shore might not realize that at that time, that you're leaving the shore. But it's about knowing and understanding your position as an individual, what you're trying to achieve, how you're going to help. If you can communicate with people, people are all different. It depends how people relate to your situation, how people understand what financial situation you're in, what you're going through, whatever it might be. But I think, when you know yourself that, look, at this point, I can't help, but I'm coming to get you and we're going to be fine. Realizing that as an individual. And I don't think necessarily everyone's got it. I think most people do it. But being able to have that ability to realize I need to take this canoe to the other side and I need to bring back this ship and I need to put everyone on it. And then we're all going to be
The idea is they don't need to understand it. They can hate you at that point. They can be like, he's wicked. While we're in Africa, we had this thing that we had borders overseas, right? And be like, that's a mean border overseas. He doesn't even help anyone. So they can see you like that, right?
They can see you like that 100%, because at the end of the day, the people that are for you will always be for you. Right?
So can I quickly just add?
Sorry, just
yeah.
If people are going to be fickle on the surface and not understand where you're coming from, because remember, when you're telling people, listen, I need to do A, B, C, D in order for me to be able to help you. Like Kali said, teaching the person how to fish. Right? You need to be able to put yourself in a position where you can do that for your friends and your family. And if they can't realize that, and there's fickle relationships, at the end of the day, in the depth of it, you don't need those relationships around you. That's what I
percent. Sorry. We'll get Joe. A quick few seconds. We'll go to Franklin to add to what Shingai said.
Just literally to piggyback off that, because in the process of that, they never stop asking.
Yeah, they don't.
So even if you say no and they call you mean, and you stop giving to them, when you get to that point where you get your things together, and where you get your things together, right? Those people will still ultimately ask you. So you have to get to a point where you set yourself up first, and then you can help everybody.
You almost have to become numb.
So we'll get Franklin to say something, and Kali to say quickly, add to this comment, and we'll get back to MJ and Chris. Quickly.
So basically, you're not saying no, because from what you said, you're giving them the reassurance that I'm coming.
Say no right now.
I'm saying no right now.
Oh, you're saying no
so
right
I'm saying
now.
no. I can't help you right now.
He's saying get a canoe, like they would hate you for that. Like he's stingy, he's all that. But you already
say no.
You're seeing the sheep on the other side.
Yeah.
Go there, get that sheep, and you can come back and get.
I'm saying no, right? I can't give you right now. No.
Right.
And
so for me,
there's
nothing wrong with saying no, because I don't think they really understand what is happening on this side of the world. Right? They have different mindset. We had that mindset while we're there. But we've crossed over this side. We have a different mindset now. So now the mindset we have here is that we've got to make it. And whilst we're trying to make it, we have to focus in the jungle. It's like a jungle, right? We have to focus in the jungle to make it, and then we can get it to you guys. So saying no to them, a lot of them will say, you know what, you're mean, you're this, you're that, that's fine.
The question is, I'm going to start with Franklin and I'll go to Chris. and this is nothing personal because I know you guys. Yeah. What's the journey like in Australia, where you come here initially and definitely you want to end up with your kind in terms of like, you know, settling down with like having a relationship or getting married or whatever, having a girlfriend and all that, and you want to settle with your kind definitely from when you get here, and then you discover that that's, you know, you know, it's open. You can definitely settle with like a white girl, Asian girl, whatever, you know. So, you know, let's start with Franklin. Like, what's your journey been so far? Like, share what you want to share. You know,
I'm just gonna be very honest here. Okay, I got in here, I think 2017. Yes, and at that time, I didn't have any picture of whatsoever what I want to do with relationship at the time. And then my journey started, and then got my job, and then I started to, you know, see what Australia is about. And I got to understand that there's the difference between the girls here and the girls back home, right? So I had that connection with people here. And I'm not trying to like draw the line or say, you know, it's about preference here. For me, I'm more attracted to the people of color.
Why? What's the thing?
I can't tell.
Is it okay? Let me make it more specific. Like, give us those instances where the people here, the girls here, like white girls are different from black girls. Let's be specific. Let's be specific.
I didn't want to say white girls.
I didn't want to go there.
I didn't want to use the word white girls because
let's be specific. Like, when you say white girls and African girls, like
my partner is Italian, and she is the most beautiful person in the world. Right?
Let's go.
I think I've been in several relationships, and I'll tell you this. I'll tell you guys this for free. This has been the most less dramatic, non-toxic, beautiful relationship ever.
Sweet will disagree with you, though. Sweet will disagree with you.
Why do you think I'm going to disagree? Why do you think? No. I'm sorry.
See, bro, guys, one house.
Yeah.
I'd like Franklin to finish his conversation. And I think Christian also has something to share. Then we jump into MJ.
The guys that are dating girls that are not.
I think it's all together. I think this is not a setup, right?
The African boys are cleaning up.
That's why I said, and if you remember from my conversation from the get-go, I said it's all about preference.
Yes.
From the get-go, I've always had this thing with the white girls. Let me
give us the reasons. Give us the reasons.
I think because they are very real. They are real in terms of their emotions. They are not like mind. They don't play mind games. It is what you see is what you get. Right? You don't see a white girl trying to play games with you or trying to, manipulate you, trying to get you to love them and then they leave you halfway.
Okay. I think someone agrees with you here because it's been saying I want to know, bro. I just want to know. You can agree, you can disagree. Like, what's your perspective?
100%. Obviously, some of you here, obviously knows the story of
Mike,
myself and my partner. We've been together for 12 years.
I don't know the story.
Most of the guys, my first day at the gym, I walked into the gym and I met Jessica. She just moved back from London. And obviously, love us at first sight. We connected, and we hit off from there. And I was a broke ass dude. I was actually living in the church, and she used to disguise herself because the priest I was living with, obviously a room next door to where he was staying, living. The rose he gave to me was just there's no women allowed in the house. And Jessica used to disguise herself just to come in to hang out with me. And obviously we built. We built from zero. I remember going home 2014, and the usual thing back home. They want to switch up with girls, and I met up with few people with families and stuff, and I'm like, there's no way, no, she's uncomparable, And coming back to Australia, and we build together, we have the most two beautiful children.
Wow,
The same rules from the dot till today. For the past 12 years, she gets up with me 5 a.m. every morning, pack my lunch, make my coffee, brings my bag to the car. Till this morning when I went to work, she's still change. She's still doing the same thing. She's real and pure as it gets. Not materialistic.
What you see is what you get.
So and I must say this as well. When it comes to relationship, it's lucky. Dating and having a girlfriend and someone you actually want to settle with, it's luck. You just gotta pray to God to give you your woman. When God gives you your woman, you got nothing to worry about, and you be more relaxed and chilled, and she will have your back, whether good or bad, in any situation. She will always be there to rock with you.
Look, I feel coming here, we're all introduced to different races and stuff like that. Relationships come down to the individual, the type of person you are. But sometimes I feel like we don't want to. There's a line we told when we get into a habit of interracial relationships where it's like, I like this person because they're not giving me that.
Yeah.
She's less toxic, which implies that my girl. So that becomes down to what about you, right? And how it reflects on you. So you shouldn't. I feel like you shouldn't date other races because you're not getting something from the other race. It means like, So it's more like an insecurity.
I don't discriminate.
But what? Okay.
Hold on.
I have a question. What if you are naturally attracted to that people? Because
that's fine.
For me, hold on.
Attracted to beautiful women.
I'll just quickly add to that.
Yeah. Go on.
I've had relatives female relatives in my culture that have failed with relationships.
Yeah.
In my culture, and I've always advised them to maybe date outside of the culture.
That's correct.
It might open a different side of you.
Correct.
But it shouldn't be as an opposition to the people in the culture. Right? You should just be wanting to experiment, to learn a different layer of yourself. But once you start to oppose, it's because it sounds like a self-hate thing.
Joe, Gabriel Union, sorry, Carly. Gabriel Union is worth $40 million. Dwayne Wade is worth, you know where I'm going to, right? Dwayne Wade is worth $170 million or something. Is this 170 or 140?
A million.
It's worth a lot of money. And I think they had a policy of everyone splits the bill. Yeah. And I think that's where the relationship has been weird, But the interview with Gabriel Union, like she was saying that it feels like there's a gorilla in her back, and and she has to catch up with those bills and all that, so she has to keep walking. When you look at dating girls and when you look at dating girls outside our race, what would you say about splitting bills? Do you think we spoiled our girls?
Listen, my brother.
Hold on. Do you think we spoiled our girls by handling their bills for them? Because when you look at dating, let's say white girls, most times it's always about, they ask you first, they're ready to split bills and pay bills.
Yeah.
But ours, you hardly find, there's some that do it, but you hardly find those that do it. And what do you say about splitting bills?
And that's a good question. I'm happy to answer it. And look, I never want to get into this white and black race war, but I have to be honest. When I came to Australia, I was very young, so I learned these things from a very young age. In Australia, I've dated outside of my race, as you obviously know, but that's never been the things about money and stuff like that was never an issue. Here, you could date a traditional Australian girl, and you're not having conversations about 50-50, how much money you make, what do you do. Correct. Girls, I feel like girls like you for who you are. Now it's changed because of the black culture and things like that. But I'm saying the traditional Australian white girls just like you for your personality.
So hold on. Did you say, are you trying to say that when you go out on dates and all that, do you just pay the bill?
Yeah, bro. I I was dating to a point where going to Nando's was considered a good date because it wasn't about the location.
That's correct.
It was about the date.
The date.
The intimacy, if I must say.
The connection.
The connection with the
One-on-one
person.
You went to
You could be
McDonald's,
sitting,
man.
bro. I used to go date in the park and sit in a park.
Wait, what race though?
Why?
Okay,
Right.
That's
cool,
what I'm
cool,
saying.
Cool.
And you just be sitting down talking, having coffee, just engaging in conversation.
Deep conversation.
But look, I'm not saying I haven't had this with black girls. I've had this with black girls.
How
But
did
that
you
has
know?
taught me what I want, right? In terms of dating. This has only been new thing to me where I've had discussions about how much money you make, 50. Me, that's like a non-negotiable now.
6 figures, 7 figures.
That type of dating taught me that when I'm in a situation where as soon as I hear 50-50, how much money, it's done.
But
I don't have to, not because I'm not like that. I don't want to over-explain myself.
But let's be honest to ourselves.
We want everyone to jump in on this topic because it's really important and it affects everyone in
I
this
just
room.
wanna
So
ask Joe a question.
hold on. We'll get Franklin to ask Joe a question, and then we'll get. Hold on. We'll get Franklin to ask Joe a question, then we'll get Khalid to speak, and then we can get it around the room.
around.
This,
All right.
Let's go around with this one. Yeah.
Joe, I pretty much heard what you've said, right? You've gone to dates in the park. You've done that with the black girls, right?
Yeah.
How did they turn out at the end of that? Like the majority of the girls, the non-white girls you've been on a date in the park, Nando's, McDonald's, KFC.
What we focus so much on is the date, but not the person. The person you're going on a date with.
But that's not the question. The
Hold
question
on.
is the outcome.
That's true.
The outcome of the date, because
It's not about the outcome. It's about building your non-negotiables.
Did he go?
It's about those things have been successful because it allows you to be who you truly are. When you're truly yourself, none of that matters.
Coming to Australia the first time, the beginning of dating girls in Australia on multicultural society, I always have the perspective of, I want to be with a girl from my culture, man. Beautiful thing. But the price of migration has been paid. It's been paid. This is not an African community, but a multicultural society of where people from all walks of life
come together.
And when we understand that life support, when anybody gives you a life support, it's important to pay attention to that. Right. Personally, to me,
100%.
It doesn't matter if you're black or white or green or whatever, because we are here for a short period of time, and they say we exist or living. You want to exist or you want to live? So you want to live, you pay attention to your life support. Who is there for you?
Yeah. Okay.
Who is there for you? That's most important to me. And lastly, I want to say something about when you're talking about money and all that, about the white girl splitting bills and all that. It's more like I want to make sure it's a secure environment. That's what I said. I'm gonna have a big dream, a girl that I see very enticing. I want to take you for vacation and all that. But how are you guaranteed that you blow $10,000 or whatever you want to blow that she's gonna fuck with you?
I want to ask you about what you guys feel about black people competing with each other in the negative manner. Or you could be positive, whatever you want to say, but I always think sometimes the energy is negative rather than us learn from each other. Black men learn from each other, he's doing fine, this is an energy, I need to do fine. Sometimes it's all I want him to fail. He succeeding means I'm failing. I don't know if I'm making sense here.
I get you. I think, unfortunately, I feel it's something that's deeply embedded within our black culture because it's something that carries over for generations. You find that a lot of different races have environments and pedestals that they put each other on. We talk about the Jews, we talk about the Indians, or whatever, wherever they are going to create situations that help each other out to rise to the next level. Yeah. And us as Africans in general, and I can't speak for everyone because obviously there are people that do the right thing. Like you quite rightfully said, there's an instinct to compete, right? You see someone else that's doing well, you see someone else that's maybe more versed in this skill than you, and you, instead of working with them to build
To build.
something that's greater,
You try to bring them down.
You're either talking nonsense about that person to try to bring them down, or you are trying to put yourself on that level of
Competition.
I'm gonna show this guy.
Yeah.
And I think as a race, unfortunately, that's the main thing that has created a barrier for us and made us backward in some instances when I compare ourselves to others. If look at Africa, right? If we talk about Africa as a continent,
100%.
the most resourceful place on earth,
Yes.
but the most disoriented.
Yes.
100%.
And there's a reason behind that. We talk about we've got everything, but we've been exploited. We've got the brains, we've got this, that, and the other, but we just can't work together. We are supposed to be the superpower on earth.
But we're separated.
No one telling us anything.
Yeah.
But they call us the most poverty-stricken continent. How?
All right, so Shinga, you really hit the point. This is a topic for another day. I actually think Africans are the most resourceful, strongest people in the world, but we just don't have leadership. We don't have coordination, and that's what many other people have better than us. And I think you don't have to be the strongest group in the world. Once you have a structure, you can find your way. You can definitely be a successful race. I would move this particular conversation to, I want to know your perspective, Chris. He said something about, we as a race of people, and I did mention it, competing with ourselves in a negative manner, what's your own perspective about that?
I think, just like Shingai have says, I call it a black disease. We seem to hear on each other's instead of supporting each other's all the time. I'll give for an instance, you go to the gym or you go to an event or a place, you see a black man. Automatically, he's like, "What is this black man doing here?" He's sort of embracing that. Oh, my brother. You know what I mean? We hear ourselves so much.
Do you think we compete a lot, even in the gym?
Yeah, we compete everywhere in the gym, private sectors, everywhere. It goes down. It's way back in the history. It's called it. I think Kenya West. What does it call it? Slavery mentality or something, or
slavery mentality.
Slavery mentality. And I can tell you, I use myself as an example. I have a labor hire company that I employed. Probably have 20 Africans working for me currently, and in my new company, the lift as well, that I just started 3 months ago, I also employed another black man because I want to empower my people. You know what I mean? And I believe we have to obviously start educating ourselves, our young youth, our children, and letting them know how beautiful we are and how powerful Africa as a people, as a continent, we are powerful. Understand? The only reason why all the Western peoples, everyone is heading to Africa is because of the resources over there. Without Africa, there will be the rest of the world will not be existing. So we have to understand our own values and how strong and powerful we are in everything we do in order to, and the only way to do that is for us to educate our youth and our children.
I mean, I feel like, a lot of people have a lot of things to say, and then I feel like we need to have 4 or 5 episodes just for this one. But my question is, in your journey as a black person and trying to get a job in Australia, when you came into this country, how was it like? And I'm going to throw that question to, I think I would need to answer it myself first. For me, I didn't really have any struggle like that, trying to get a job. But I started with, the basic things, and then, later on, I got into jobs that were really cool and all of that. But I think a lot of people kind of have this sentiment, when you are in a particular skin. And, but regardless, I feel like my mentality has always been that if I have the solutions to provide, I don't really, no one's really going to care about, what race you are. Because they believe that you have the intelligence or the skill to, to have that solution to the problem.
The other time I went to my employer just a couple of weeks ago. This is someone I haven't seen for 5 years or thereabout. And when he saw me, he said to me, "Do you do some shady stuff?"
Like what?
I don't want to mention. That's what he said to me because what he saw was beyond expectation.
Why did he say that?
Because where I was with him was the baseline. I gotta pay bills, but the point is that I was applying jobs on sick, and I was going face to face. It boils down to what you said. Nobody really cares the color or who you are, but if you got a skill, if you can do the job, because it's not about everybody winning.
That's right.
It's everybody winning, and your employer wants to win. That's why he employs you. He doesn't care about who you are.
You're just a number.
But what can you contribute? That's important.
All right, Kali, hold on,
Hold on, Kali. Sorry, I don't want to go there. Hold
on. Before you go to colonization order, I'm going to ask Franklin this question too.
Yeah.
Franklin, like, what was your struggle when you started? When you got into this country, you had to start start looking for jobs and all of that.
It was quite a big it was a struggle actually. I got here I think 2017, and it's been tough from then. And it was the thing then was when you try to apply or try to get a job from these companies, the problem was they wanted an experienced staff, an experienced person. So my thing was then, if you guys don't give me the opportunity to get experience, how am I going to come into it? How do I get experience? So it was very tough. So I kept going, and I kept. I think the mindset I had at the time was every no I got kept me going because I know that I was getting close to a yes, right? So I kept going. I think it was all about faking it till you make it. That's basically what it is in a place where you don't know anyone. So eventually I got a company who was really willing to make me get experience and then get me into the job. But the next person wouldn't go through that stress because so many people dropped off, and then so many people didn't want to go through that stress. People willing to keep going and keep going to get that job. So for me, I think it's about the mental strength and the mindset at the time.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. I mean, Tay, you want to say something?
Nah, I think this conversation can come from different angle. Kali and Franklin has really made a lot of sense with this.
Yeah.
I would start with the guys, Shingai, Joe, MJ,
and
Chris. Do you guys have a question about this? Do you guys have a question about this particular conversation?
Work thing, yeah.
To any question, work, business, anything. Let's go.
So my question is, so let's take it back to when we were looking for a job. Did you face any sort of racism when trying to get a job?
MJ.
Definitely you. Man, that's a big yes, man. That's a big yes. That's a big yes, especially in person. Dropping of your CV in person and all of that. They judge you by your appearance. That's the first thing they do to you. That's where you get to understand that, okay, this job it doesn't belong to me. Because some of them, they'll hold your CVs and just right in front of them, put it in a bin. And some of them, you walk in, can I speak with the manager? And some staff just randomly tell you, manager is not in, and the manager is right there. And you got no choice but to walk away. That's one. And for me, I don't take that as a color or racism, right? I just take that to be very
sorry to cut you. How do you deal with such situation?
Well, there is only one way to deal with those sort of things. Just walk away. That's all. Because anything that you go for, and if it doesn't seek your face, it doesn't belong to you. Walk away. There's another big one waiting for you. And,
nice.
Nice.
So
nice.
Can I add on to what MJ said? I think one thing that I've experienced more than racism is ignorance in the workplace.
From what part? From what angle?
You get a lot of you may speak to a lot of clients over the phone.
Yeah.
Because maybe you speak well or whatever, and you see you in person, it's like you know, like they can't hide it. Or you sit down with co-workers and, you know, they really then open up to you and ask, so is your dad like a king back in Africa?
You don't with lions and
They'll ask you.
Conversations like that. And it's like, why do you think I'm part of a kingdom or whatever the case? Like, it's like, wow, you must be wealthy to have made it out here to Australia. And those are the conversations.
I get that,
And you know
yeah.
what the thing
True,
is, people,
true.
it's like not like someone's trying to be racist towards you. They're like they're just ignorant. They don't understand.
Exactly. Yeah. That's how I take it.
You know.
That's how.
So
Yeah, Joe. I was gonna say something. Yeah, like I think there was a time when I was at work, and then this guy just walked up to me and was like, "How come you speak a good English?" And I was like, "Bro, we speak English back home, man. There's no other way we converse." So yeah, like what you said, you're
We don't
really
speak
right.
Swahili. We speak English.
Yeah, exactly. So
I'll tell you. I'll tell you reason why.
When someone says that to me, you know what I say to them?
I'll tell you reason why.
Look, I am proud
You know-
not to speak your language fluently.
No, I'll tell you.
Yeah, MJ, go on.
I would just elaborate on that, right? Conversely, right? Most of them people who ask why you speak so damn good English, right? I'll tell you. One is that you and I we've been around the world roughly, but most of them people they born here, right? They never left this country. They don't even know. They don't even know where Nigeria. They don't even know where Ivory Coast.
They don't even know where
they don't
the
even know
airport
the map.
is. So,
Right? And some of them were born. Some of them were born. Listen to me. Some of them were born in Melbourne, Victoria. They have never stepped out of their comfort zone. They have never stepped out of Victoria for their entire life. Some of them they stay here for 60, 70, 80, 90 years.
Wow.
They never gone outside of Victoria.
wow.
yeah.
They're not open to the world.
Yeah.
So when they see Africans, and most of them, when they see African like trash, right? That's how I put it. Because when they hear the word Africa, they think Africa it's some sort of like how you call it
Jungle.
a jungle, right?
yeah.
In their mind, Africa is jungle. Whoever comes from Africa, they're not educated, right? It's only these days that social media and all these things get to open their head on these things.
I'll add to what MJ has said, and I'll throw a question to you because we speak about this a lot. So I'm not setting you up with a question.
You see what I'm trying to say here?
Yeah.
So it's not like they some of them they ask a question, but they just don't know how to post the question to you.
Right.
Yeah.
They just don't know how to post it to you.
Yeah,
so
I'll add to what MJ has said. I remember an experience when I was working with this young man. He's a very learned person. So there's this co-worker who said to me, she said, I asked her, what part of the world have you been to? And she said, is there any part of the world, just Australia, UK, and Africa or Sudan?
Wow.
And I said, what do you mean Africa or Sudan? He said, is Africa not equivalent to Sudan?
So they
I'm
don't
like,
know.
no. And I said, Sudan is one big part of Africa, and there's other parts of Africa.
Right.
And she's like, she was more like, what are you saying? And the boss, the young man, kept signaling me, don't argue with her.
Yeah.
I'll talk to you later. I'm like, nah, I'm gonna argue this
She
today.
doesn't know what she's
And I'm
saying.
like,
Because they just don't know.
and I flipped it. I'm like,
Africa, and then you
what
say
do mean?
Africa, and
She
then you
said, she always said Australia, UK, US, and Sudan or Africa. And I said, what do you mean by UK? And she said that the UK is just Europe. I'm like, there's many countries in Europe.
Yeah, exactly.
And then we went from them, like, also in the US, there's South America, there's North America, there's many parts of,
Yeah.
And she's like, I don't know. She was looking at me like, you're wrong with your knowledge.
Yeah.
And then my boss just kept saying, don't argue. And then I left and I went to my boss and I was having a conversation like, I was shocked. It was a culture shock for me.
Yeah.
So, and then he was like, that's the problem I have with our geography classes here and also our media. They lied a lot to our kids. Do you think it's the media, or do you think it's the schools, education?
I think it's a combination of everything. You can also add experiences to that too. Preconceived ideas derived from lack of knowledge, lack of knowing. So what's happened in my experiences with like my name and my culture, even like the way I speak, you know, a lot of people would compliment the way I speak English and say, you know, I sound Australian. But that's just, it's funny because someone could say, hey, you speak English well, but what is well-spoken English? Right, it goes back. There's an example someone made. We talk about it, an engineer, like a German engineer, well renowned as the top engineers in the world. When you go to Germany, they're speaking full German, but because he doesn't speak English, does he know less?
Yeah.
Exactly.
For me, I'm not an English man. I'm an Igbo man from Nigeria, West Africa.
100%.
If I want to speak fluent,
100%.
in Igbo language.
100%.
So English is a second language, right? And when we align ourselves to our true identity of who we are, we can forge into the fullness of our potential, right? And at the end of the day, nobody will notice you until you show the world of what you got, right? You know, the people who have made their names is not because the people like them and all that, but because people can't actually, you know, deny you that, right? I feel like Africans, we shouldn't be only like blaming situations and all that, but we should be looking at where is the significant situation that we need to fix and fix that. When we fix that, the world will hear us.
Yeah.
The Middle East, for example, the Dubai, a couple of years ago, maybe a couple of decades ago, we know what it looks like, you know? And when we understand what it looks like to identify yourself with your identity of who you are, not hanging on to the West of, I want to speak English like a white man. You are not an English man. But it's good that we speak the language. It's good that we are global.
I have a question, Tony.
Okay. Yeah.
And my question is about, you know, if we look at the food industry in Australia, we realize that the Asians actually really kill it heavy. Yeah. You know, you go to Australia and it's all Australian, it's all Chinese restaurant.
Yeah.
Why is it that we Africans are not having that same, you know, drive or that same attention when it comes to the food industry? You know, why is that like the only, I was telling Tony, like the only African food industry restaurant I know is, that's it. I don't want to mention anything because I'm not going to give anybody, I'm not going to give anybody, no free promo. No free promo.
We just have one.
Can I just say,
and I know where you're going at.
Why is it that we don't have, you look at some Korean restaurants, like there's a long queue.
Chinese.
There's a long queue. You know, why is it that we don't have that?
What's the problem?
I think let's regulate this. We've had Joe and Carly speak. So with this question, let's go from Franklin to Shingai, and I ask my question that goes from this way. So let's start.
I think I wouldn't say much on that. I think the only thing I would say is we are our own enemies. The black person doesn't want the next black person to succeed. I don't know why. That's just how it is. It's just something. There's something there. You're somewhere, and then you look the next side. You see the next black person succeeding. The next thing that comes to your mind is that you want this person to
competition.
So in summary, we are our own enemies.
That's a harsh truth, though. That's really a harsh truth. Shinga, like, jump in on that, like what he said. Do you agree with him or do you disagree? Because that's a very harsh truth, and I think some Africans really want other
Tony,
Africans to win.
You remember that we had the conversation before?
Yeah, we have this conversation. You know, there's some Africans who want some African, but I think most Africans, like, something itches us when we see the others win. I think we always say we don't want to iron our dirty linen outside, but
we just have to.
We have to, and that's the aim of this.
That's it.
Jump in on what he said, and then we go to,
I 100% agree with what Frank said. I do want to add on and say I feel like times are changing. I say that because I feel the African influence on the world is growing significantly in a very rapid pace. through different things.
Music.
Majority.
Yeah.
Right. It's music. It's our fashion. It's the culture. People are tapping more into it. Black guys are in. Like it's
Boy said it.
black guys are in. It's
Yeah.
the hot thing. Like
Yeah.
it's a thing that's happening, and it's happening as a global wave. People are tapping more into it, and I think right now people are becoming more and more proud to be African.
Yeah.
Whether it's for the right reason or the wrong reason is questionable. But we are on that wave where I feel in the next few years we're going to start seeing more African food joints around. We're going to start seeing African clothing brands around. We're going to start seeing all these things. As long as people can jump onto that wave, because
Pick from what Shinga said. He said,
The way.
there was a wave. Africans are becoming the new it. And I think Burna Boy made a mention of something like that. He said, like, he was referring to the there's a part he did with J Horse where he picked J Horse's
I'm a sexy you.
I'm a sexy you.
I'm a sexy you, but I'm a sexy you.
yeah.
Girl over the globe on the uckers.
You understand?
He picked that part, and it's J Horse just having fun on Instagram story, and Burna Boy just about it. True. And he said it like before, it used to be the white guys, or even if they want to like come to our culture, it has to be like the Chris Browns,
Chris
the
Brown.
mix, you
And we
know.
all have Chris
It's
Browns
now
on the
like
wall.
the being black is the shit. If you know what you're doing, if you're well composed and all that, you know. So I just want to like, you know, pass the question on to Christian and MJ. I want to ask you guys, like, do you think Africans are like young Africans are becoming the new, like being African is becoming like a good thing to be
the new cool.
the new cool,
The new cat.
you know, because in the past it used to be like we weren't proud of ourselves. Let's be true.
I think like Washing I have said, you know, the wave is coming, and everyone need to be, if you're ready to jump on the wave, you're gonna get to the next level. You know, for me, the most important thing is self-belief. If you believe in yourself as a person, for myself personally, I've always believed in myself. What if the new African is coming or new African is not coming? Self-belief is very important, and we also need to believe in each other, supporting each other. Obviously, not having much African restaurants in Australia or in Melbourne as itself, is ones who believe. If I believe in all my friends that we're gonna support each other, that will give you courage if you're a chef to go and open a restaurant, because you know we believe in each other. And you know the difference between Africans and Asians is that Asians support each other. You know, they don't have that hate. You go to an Indian guy trying to buy a property. If he doesn't have what you want, you be like, hey, try this guy. You know, he might have something for you. And when you look at the name, you'll be same or deep. You know, you could be his cousin. You know,
Been a very interesting conversation. I really love this one, and I think this episode is gonna go like, you know, on and on and on and
Bro,
on.
like
You
I think
know,
this is the first time where I didn't even have to say too much.
I've learned a lot tonight. So before we round up, we'll have everyone in the, you know, in this panel, like we'll have everyone like give us their last, you know, 10 seconds advice.
It could be
I
word of
want the
motivation.
advice to be catered more towards the young African kids that are coming up. Give them the last, you know, throw that last word that would help, that would motivate them, you know, not to go through some of the things we went to mentally.
Let's start with MJ.
Let's start with MJ, you know. 10 seconds, just tell us what those young kids should listen to and be motivated. And you know.
First of all, to the young kids out there, this is why you have to know. You got to believe in yourself.
Right.
Be confident. And to do the right thing. Always don't be afraid to do the right thing. Because once you do the right thing, you're always on the right track.
100%. Joe, what you got to say?
Cool.
Man, just to quickly finish up, it's factual. The easiest thing and the most necessary thing to do is love yourself. And I know it's a deep thing it's a vague thing to say, but it's a deep thing to look into. Once you start loving yourself, you can be the best version of yourself. You can achieve anything you want.
100%.
Yeah, you be proud of who you are.
100%.
And it starts with that.
All right, Chris, what you got to say?
I think most importantly is self-love and believing in yourself. Is believe in yourself, love yourself, and the sky's your limit.
100%. Fine.
I probably don't have much to say, but the only thing I have to say is it's okay to make mistakes. One last word is a good judgment comes from a lot of experience, and a lot of that comes from bad judgment. So it's okay to make mistakes. Yeah.
All I gotta say is, what a time to be African.
100%.
The wave is coming. The wave is coming big and hard. Get on the bandwagon or get left behind. Believe in yourself, like everyone else has said, but stay true to yourself and who you are. Understand your culture, and represent that, because that's who we are as a core human.
Just remember one thing: you are the actor. You create this movie. And nobody else can play it better than yourself.
Obviously.
Play that part and making sure that you don't get into trouble. And nobody is special, or everybody is special. Just know that. And whoever that is winning today is just like every other person out there in the world. And you can do it and do even better than them. You are the actor. Play the game.
Bro, man, I feel like Kali should be here, but motivational. Kali should be on the stage. So, I mean, it's been a nice conversation, man.
It's really been a nice conversation, and this episode is going to we'll hold it once a month. Or once in 2 months. This is an interesting one. We need to stick to this. We young Africans in Melbourne need to speak our truth. We need to put it out there. We need to motivate the young ones. And many of us agree, and like Shingai said, it's being African is becoming a wave. It's becoming a new thing.
Is coming.
And I'm gonna leave with one advice. Remember, Jesus Christ died on the cross to preach the salvation to the world. Remember that Moses had to cross the Red Sea. As young Africans out there, we might face our hustle and it might be hard, but just keep going, and the sky is the limit. The sky is just the starting point. The sky is your starting point, and don't let nothing stop you. Not racism, not self-doubt, not the fact that you're living in a country that is white dominated. Don't let nothing stop you. Just keep going, and you are the new it, like most of the people have said. It's happening. The wave is here.
All right. Is that okay, my brother? You know what it is, man? It's FlowandGist. What we do, we jump on trends and what's not trending. It's been a good conversation. So from me, it's peace out.
Peace out. Peace out. Peace out.
Thank you, guys. Oh my God.